Welcome to episode number 7, part 2 of the InnerTuning podcast. My name is Richard Matisaw. InnerTuning is a practical system for spiritual and psychological well-being. It was created by Sri Shyamji Bhatnagar and based on his discovery of the Microchakras, 147 stages of human awareness from complete ignorance all the way to enlightenment. Sri Shyamji is the founder of the Chakra Institute, co-author of the book Microchakras, and a world-renowned master of naada yoga, the yoga of sound. To learn more about Sri Shyamji and three-body purification retreats, visit the website ChakraInstitute.com. In today's episode, we will listen to a pre-recorded session with Sri Shyamji elaborating on the question, what are the 7 chakra minds?
7 minds are servants of 3 motivational principles. InnerTuning system chooses to accept the Sanskrit names because they are quite profound in their meanings. But for convenience, we call them first linga, second linga, and third linga. There are 3 different motives man can discover in life. Not obligated to, but can discover. The first motivational principle directs the 3 minds, which for convenience we call it the mind of earth, water, and fire. The mind of earth occupies some earth to feel secured, have friends to play with. Second mind, water chakra mind, it wants to mix, get more intimate than just playmates, in which relationships of more closeness are nurtured by the second chakra mind, especially in the second chakra age, which is from 6 to 12 for girls and from 7 to 14 for boys. Prior to that, they were both with the first chakra mind. I am this body. No difference. Whether you are a boy body, girl body, no difference. We are all a body. Recognition of the gender really takes place in the second chakra age, the second mind. All family relations are based on second chakra. Sigmund Freud was right as far as the second chakra mind is concerned. Then to be able to utilize the Shakti, the power, to make a house, to have the courage to relate to somebody, to settle down with as mates, depends on the purity of the element of water, which runs the mind of the second chakra. Then comes the mind of the fire, the director of and the ruler of the second chakra mind and the first chakra mind. Without its permission, both of those are not very stable. First chakra mind falls victim of lethargy, and second chakra mind nurtures postponement. Everything you want to do, you want to postpone it. hasta mañana. Nature of the third chakra mind is to be able to pay attention. It's the first place where you can really be, as an adult, pay attention. But then attention also has many qualities. Some things we just can't attend to, and some things we can. And yet the third chakra mind is enough to run the life affairs of the family and the house. So these three minds, they work together because the strategy of the first linga minds is to live in harmony with the neighbor. The neighbor starts from the second linga mind. Actually, the neighbor is just a symbol to signify the true duality of the other, who is truly lovable. You don't know them, but they are lovable. Then if you meet them, you can see if they are truly lovable. But the idea that they are lovable, that is when the second linga minds take over. They think of the other, like the sage Kabir, extraordinary poet of the 14th century, 15th century. Kabir, K-A-B-I-R. In one place he says, I decided to go and look for a stupid person. I searched everywhere. All day long, I searched everywhere. And I came home with the idea that I was the most stupid person. It's difficult to really understand the state of awareness of such sages like the Kabir. In helping you understand the problems arise from the conflicts in the first, second, and third chakra minds. Poetry of Kabir and advisors in our lives whom we seek some help from. May be able to bring some peace and harmony. But the first linga mind's strategy is not really a solution to anything. In fact, it keeps on creating more and more conflicts. And if they have a unity of the fourth microchakras from the first linga, that means fourth microchakra of the first, fourth of the second, and fourth of the third, they have joined into a triangle. It's like a three-way contract. And in that contract, you can dream of your love for the neighbor. Help those who need. That conscience is born, so to speak. Concern for the other. That begins before even the second linga minds become active. That's within, under the slab of the iron chain of the first motivational principle, it's there. 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, upward pointing triangle. Even downward pointing triangle, which we can help to reverse, to become upward. Concern for the other, real concern. Not just the thought of concern, but that thought that is become practical. Until that time comes when you can develop, there's a state of Sakshi, it's called, S-A-K-S-H-I. It's between the first linga and the second linga. It's a little power of stillness. And the reason it's there is because it gives you the opportunity to look at your own issues before you call for help from friend, neighbor, therapist, psychiatrist. Pandit, priest. Solve it yourself. And you realize how much potency you really have. And you use that potency with the thought of helping others as a torch, for which to light it we have a mantra. Because what that does, it reverses the triangle, a downward pointing triangle of the fire that's only bringing the warmth to the family and to the friends and to the property. It rarely goes out the other way, which means that the triangle is being pulled by the gravity, and we need to do some anti-gravity exercises and practices to reverse it. So it can melt down that slab under which there is that iron chain, because iron chain has to melt. If it doesn't melt, we don't discover the fourth chakra mind, or the air mind, or the heart chakra mind, or the unconditionally loving mind. We'll never discover it. Inklings of that will be experienced in the lower linga. The love between brother and brother, sister and sister. Love of every member in the family at large. Those are inklings. They're just the rays coming from Venus, the facilitator of the heart chakra mind. So when this triangle is reversed, chain is melted down, you are directly in touch with your own unconditionally loving mind. Only problem with this mind is it knows how to fall in love, but it doesn't know who to fall in love with. It's a force. It's a compulsive force over which you really have no control. It's a power of that magnetism you feel for someone that you can't be without them. It's that gravitational state of mind. the mind of the heart chakra. It has enough reason-giving energy to think that they are investing all their unconditionally oriented energy to the right person, right organization, right associations. But what they decide will determine if they will ever get to the fifth chakra mind, the mind of Akasha, the space. Space is a poor translation, but that's what's available. Akasha is where everything is stored as a result of the play of the four elements, which are the air, the fire, the water, and the earth. We play with these elements as long as we have the time to play with, and then all the records of this will go into Akasha. But the mind of Akasha has very unique quality. This mind is called the mind of the inner guide. In India we call it inner guru. Everybody is born with it. Every plant, every seed has it. It's just a matter that in the human birth we have the capacity to discover it. Whether we will discover it or not, that depends on the choices we make. And choices come from the freedom from the lower four chakra minds. Because all those minds were responsible for your memory, for your experiences in life, for your thoughts. All the words we learn, they are all from these four different minds. So the fifth chakra mind gives us the ability to creatively use them, arrange them, to express for what we need, what we want. And if the wants are genuine, or if the wants are for the greater good of the mankind, leading to the greater good of the planet. But the way we have been treating planet, who is really crying, all my metals have been drained out of me, all my oils have been drained out of me. If the mind of the earth was understood, we would really get depressed. But the earth is crying. And there are some people who have resonance with this thought. It's the fifth chakra mind that can guide us personally or feels the defeat. When it feels the defeat, you say to yourself, I don't know, and I follow someone who I believe will protect me. And you create associations and clubs and temples and different types of graveyards and whatever. Because inner guru is not awake, who can point the way how to use the energies of the lower four chakra minds, because it is not taught anywhere. It's a chakra of knowledge, and you don't find it in the places where people learn. I guess that's what David Isaacs, professor of psychology, when he heard the first lecture on microchakra psychology, he decided to pursue it and spent 30 years of his life dedicating to it. Because the fifth chakra mind has the built-in capacity to choose the right thing. So with this knowledge and mindful living and understanding things before you do them and coordinating with the colors and sounds of the proper times and proper occasions in everyday life, no ritual, no dogma, nothing. Just when you engage in an activity, create a cushion of sound that helps. And it's so entertaining. It's like you are entertaining yourself while you are living a life, even by yourself. So I take this opportunity of called lockdown. I love being locked down. I have more time to do things internally and for myself. That postponement habit. I can look at it. That's meditation. When you pay your full attention to something, you are in a state of meditation. But only the sixth chakra mind knows that. But to go to the sixth chakra mind, we have to get over the bondage created by the inner guru, who is guiding you as far as the guru knows. But guru doesn't know. That will only be revealed when the third linga mind, the third motivational principle, will become active. Because there the nature of the inner guru is being examined. Sixth of the fifth is being examined by the fifth of the sixth. How many nadas is the guru able to hear? If that's not happening, it's not exercising all its capacity. Anyhow, assuming that the silver chain, with your knowledge and your practice to melt that chain down, to go to the third linga, where sixth and seventh chakras are tied by a golden chain. It's the sixth chakra mind that is able to develop a capacity to look at itself in its own personal shadow. Not that Shakti we talked about called Sakshi, who was able to look down at the three chakra minds. Her senior boss is between the fifth and the sixth chakra, after the silver chain, or actually in the process of melting the silver chain. That Sakshi over there is extremely helpful. Witnessing the mind of the fifth chakra and fourth chakra without movement. Sakshi does not move. Sakshi is like a mirror. It doesn't say you are beautiful or you are ugly. It just is. So Sakshi over here is a little more subtle. So subtle ways are taught to melt down the silver chain. And you enter to the glorious mind of the sixth chakra who knows how to peek into your own shadow side. And when you do, you realize that majority of your habits are being directed by the shadow side. Now you need the help of the inner guru to find ways to see if you can do anything about them. In that process, you may need the guru outside who can teach you to awaken the guru in you. Then the sixth chakra, mind, can see how sounds and colors and energies from the different sources, like the sun, the moon, the Jupiter, the Venus, the Mars, they all have a certain energy. You can hear it. You can even see it. You certainly can feel it if you are sensitive to the state of pratyahara, it's called. See, there are a lot of mental states that have not been studied because it's so different in each individual. Without studying the yoga psychology, understanding of the mind, to my mind, is really impossible. Yoga philosophy is so important. Because without yoga philosophy, you'll never understand Vedanta, which is the ultimate knowledge of how to be free from everything. I mean, everything means really everything. That's the seventh chakra, mind. So we all have these extraordinary minds. But the only time you can discover them is when you are not in motion. All day long we are in motion, actually. And there are three institutions. One is walking, one is sitting, and one is sleeping. And we should be good at all three. Sitting basically means when your earth chakra bones, which is your coccyx, feels the gravity of the earth in its nearest proximity. Mean to sit on the grass, on the floor. If you have a straw mat, that helps. Because the spine is an antenna. It can pick up a few messages, it can pick up a lot of messages. It can even connect you with the what's called Meru Danda. Meru Danda is the spine of the universe. Each universe has a spine. Just as each leaf has a spine. Each atom has a spine. Spine means an antenna through which we work with our electromagnetic energies and relate to them as our relatives, because you have that that resonance. It's like two strings of an instrument exactly on the same note. They smile together. That resonance. If the spine was not designed for the chairs were designed for the spine. And then once you are in the chairs, then you go to the sofas. And then it's just a devolution of the spine rather than inclusion. You see, life is based on accumulating, like yesterday's food is, or my morning's breakfast, it was separate from me until it became me. So something that feels separate from you can become you. Every day we are doing it more than we should be. That inclusion, that evolution of the spine keeps all the 7 chakra minds in communication. But without the proper education, or even proper ideas, discussions. Most people now have discussions if they are of the same subject. Philosophers have their discussions, tennis players have their discussions. There are no life discussions in short distance. You have to go long distance for really evolutionary, philosophical, productive understanding of the subtle, which is directing our life. Somebody told me to go and listen to this recording. If that thought had not been planted in my mind, I would never have been able to hear it. And your thought body is a subtle body. And then you have a feeling for the thought. That's a little other body in between the physical and the thought body. That's called feeling body. A thought has to be nurtured by the feeling for you to take an action. Otherwise, many, many thoughts come and go unattended, or attended for some time, but postponement, or never reaching any fruition. When you sit silent every day, you will notice a reduction in your rate of breathing. Gradually you will notice you are breathing lesser breaths per minute, but each breath is deeper. And deeper the breath average, more awareness of a higher chakra mind. When you sit every day, any time of the day, ideal times are really before the sunrise, which some people cannot easily do. But sit at any time. Allow not your spine to slouch. Sit at the edge of the chair for a few minutes, but keep the spine straight. And just sing a song in your mind, do a mantra in your mind. Don't pay any attention to the breath. Hear the everyday noises all around, normal life. Just watch it. Don't even identify if the sound is of a saw or a motorcycle, or don't think of the form or the name. whatever idea comes to mind, focus on it. Get as close to it as possible. Give all your might, all your attention to that thought. And you will notice it will disappear. It has merged into you. Seventh chakra mind is all about all that can happen in the sixth, fifth, fourth, third, second, and first chakra minds. It provides contentment to all of them. Seventh of the first, content with your body. Seventh of the second, content with your family. Seventh of the third, content with your work. Seventh of the fourth, reaping the beautiful unconditional love experiences. Seventh of the fifth, merged into your own sound. You're hearing your own sound. Then you start to hear the sound of the sun, the moon, and the other planets. It's not utopia. It's real life experience. There are yogis who are being in these states. They are not levels of altered states of consciousness or awareness, lofty terms. It's simple life. It's very simple. Our third chakra mind, second chakra mind, and the first chakra mind. It makes it very difficult for the other two. While the other two totally depend on how you treat your first linga minds. Remember, you choose. Mm.